Very good morning, my dear friends and masters, and very good afternoon and good evening to the West. Welcome to this 31st day of the Infinity Program, 40 days meditation program. We are on the Spiritual Intelligence Week. We learned that 5 key points in spiritual quotient. Everyone is inside of me. Unlimited potential inside me. My reality by me. Abundance everywhere. And there is higher intelligence always helping me. Right. Chandra sir explained very nicely and all these 5 points. And in fact, when we were listening to yesterday from Paripatri ma'am, do not point, everything is your responsibility. Do not actually blame, judge others. And if you understand all these points being touched by Paripatri ma'am yesterday as well, and lot of messages. Personally, I have to go again to see the video of yesterday to grasp all. So today, we will understand the 7 spiritual laws. The wonderful meditation and with the great wisdom from Mr. Chandra sir. The more we understand, we get our intellect, we understand the reality more. Let's get into the session directly. Yes.
Then he will have such an expanded feeling. Yeah, I am the whole cosmos. I am everything. So, at that highest level of experiences, a statement comes from, or a feeling comes from yourself. I am everything. Aham Brahmasmi. Aham Brahmasmi means I am everything. And that is the truth. That is the truth. That is the grand truth. And the more you are there, the more that truth will percolate into your every cell. Then, when you are out of meditation, you bring that wisdom to your day-to-day life. That happens to every person who is sincere and serious in meditation. There are 3 words, sincerity, seriousness, and enlightenment. If you are sincere about wanting to know who you are, what you are, and you back it up with serious meditation, everyday meditation, everybody will become enlightened. What is enlightenment? Yes, I am not just this body, I am many bodies, and I am cosmic consciousness. I am all that is. So then, once you know that, you have expanded your consciousness to the limits. Then you come back. Then you teach to others.
Happy morning, dear friends and masters. Wonderful afternoon and evening. Spiritual intellect is to know about that invisible, your body, your mind, your soul. To a great extent, we have understood in this program about the body and mind, how meditation is helping us. The soul, that energy, different words, it's good at least to explore. That field of invisibility. And so we are the science of meditation is there, the science of spirit, which spiritual science is science of spirit. Spirit, soul, different words. Now from quantum physics, we say energy, quantum field of energy. Under self, over self, words used in spirituality. Soul, super soul, universal soul. But we understand from science perspective that it's all energy. At least that much we can accept. Why must it be studied? Why should I know that something exists in the past? Why should I know? Unknowingly, we already do it. Go into the root cause, we already do. We already do in our day-to-day life. You're a business, you've got a product that is fetching a lot of revenue. But then let's say there are suddenly a whole bunch of issues are coming. Issues are coming. One issue is solved, another issue pops up. And the issues come, and when big issues come, then it's not getting solved. Then we keep looking for root cause. We look for workarounds initially. How do I just somehow just quote it and then try to get going? Then when things don't get solved, what is the root cause? Where is it coming from? So you'll go dig into it, they'll probably find something 10 years ago, somebody developed some component that we are using in this, which has full of issues, and so that has come here. We got to go to the root cause to go back based on the history. Then we will know, okay, I know I have best engineers possible on this today and best people possible on this, but still it has got some super challenges. How is it possible? Then you go back and say 10, 15, 20 years ago, somewhere the system had somebody or something that creeped in. The moment we understand it, root cause, then everybody accepts it. Otherwise, they're only blaming. The best people, they blame themselves potentially. They're all in the context of it. So rather than blaming myself, what have I done blindly? I don't know. I must have screwed up something because pointing in my system, my area, we just comment ourselves. But deep inside, we're not be accepting it. But then we go to the root cause, we recognize that it has happened long ago. And then we have the capability to accept it. And so no longer a blame game, then we start solutions from that point. The moment we accept, then we all become to the normal thing again. No longer blaming the people in the situation and say, okay, there is a past, there is something has happened, but we do know a solution of what to be done now based on that past. So dear friends, science of invisibility, the spirit science of spirit, the science of this energy that is there, the quantum field of energy. When I go a little deeper, it seems to give us answers. It gives us answers. Answers that we don't have today in our life. Clearly, it's pretty clear. If you recognize there is a past, and then you go into the past and then look into your past, then you have data to analyze, and you come back and say, oh, this is what happened there, and so this is why I'm experiencing it today. So we want to explore. If there is something that's going to give us answers in our life, then why not? Why would we not be exploring to see if the whole meaning is about being happy? And so is there some science, is there something that studies that is giving us answers? So we look back into and then look further. Are we just bones and molecules? Are we beyond it? I'm Chandra. Who is Chandra? Okay, son of Apajani, who are they? That is just physical matter, but who are you really? I'm so and so, I'm done this, I have done that, I've done this. Okay. That is just your education here, but who are you? This education, like many people are doing it. But who are you? That's not your reality, you know that. That degree is there, but they do not even care for it in doing something else. Their experience may be there, we do anything differently. Who are you? So we ask and I keep going back. Somewhere we get some answers. So the science of spiritual science is to study the invisible. And the invisible is giving answers. And then, dear friends, spiritual science is giving answers. Patriji used to tell, 80 to 90% is spirituality is about living this life beautifully by so understanding the general laws of nature, how to live life, thinking, talking, eating, just some simple things, managing our emotions, understand higher emotion, lower emotion, present moment awareness. All of this will lead to a great life. Then 10 to 20%, we understand what is life beyond life to get full answers. Hence, we are calling it spiritual science theories, the 6 spiritual science theories that beautifully explain these concepts of how reality is created. We're going to explore into this nature of personal reality. Personal self, the personal reality. That means to each of us individually, how is this reality getting created? Cosmic reality is the existence of the whole. Maybe a subject for for self-study. Nature of personal reality of why is it that I am this way or that way? When all seem to be equal around, somebody is very successful, somebody is not. Somebody's got health challenge, somebody is not. Even though when all of us think that somebody should have great health, but they don't seem to have that great health. Because they're doing all good stuff, And they should have great health, but they're not certainly. We gain some understanding, perspective. We become very open-minded to explore everything, friends. The first thing that I understood when I came into spiritual science is to be open to explore before rejecting. So we're going to go through some of this science today, tomorrow, during this week, some more. Before that, let's go into meditation, breath, mindfulness meditation. We want to rest our mind We want to connect with that intelligent quantum field. Our goal of this meditation, for anybody new, welcome. So very, very simple technique that we are practicing, observing our natural breath to rest the mind, to empty the mind. Resting the mind, beautifully done when we empty the mind, because when you do that, there are something significant happening. When you empty the mind, then the thing that's significantly happening is to connect with this quantum energy field that exists everywhere. It seems to be very intelligent, where all creation is happening from. So we are every day connecting to this space of emptiness by observing our breath. And so you sit down in a chair or on the floor, as you see in the picture, fingers into fingers, hands comfortably placed in your lap. Observe your normal, natural breath. Remove the spectacles if you're wearing. And observe the breath anywhere in the nose as a reference point. Take a ref point on your nose as a reference anywhere, and then observe, preferably in the middle of the eyebrows. And observe your breath, natural breath. And when you observe the breath, mind is slowly, slowly becoming empty of the thought. Slowly. It may not happen at once, slowly. As thoughts are coming down, and we start feeling emptiness anywhere in the body around ourselves. We may not experience our hands, legs. We may not experience anything around us called emptiness. We may experience some sensation, movement in our body. Anything that happens involuntarily that you start experiencing, be a witness to it, observe it, do not interpret it. In case you have thought, in case you know you're thinking, bring your attention back to the breath and observe the breath again, dear friends. And then slowly go into the same empty states or meditative states. And be there, observing all of it. Only when thoughts are there, attention back to the breath. Called breath mindfulness meditation. Before we do that, we're doing something called heart elevation. As you see in the picture, just follow my guidance. This process helps us to go deep into breath mindfulness meditation. Your eyes closed, dear friends. Relax your body. Be with you. Relax your body. allow yourself to merge into your breath and allow yourself to experience that emptiness, that blackness. Become aware of the endless depth of that emptiness spreading far and wide. Connect with it. Notice it. That's energy. All emptiness is energy. All emptiness is energy. This is the field of all creation, the field of unlimited possibilities. The longer you stay aware of it, the more you create, the more possibilities you draw into your life. Merge into the emptiness of yourself. That you greater intelligence. recollect your experiences from the session. Whenever you're ready, keep your hands on your eyes for 5 seconds, then open your eyes. Okay, friends. Investigating the nature of reality to lead a beautiful life, to lead a life of no suffering. In the same family, same parents, one child is highly successful as the way we brand it in the eyes of the society, another child is struggling to meet the ends meet, to make the ends meet. People who are doing all good things suddenly get into all kinds of challenges. So we have surprises when we see and we hear those. A 10-year-old becomes the super duper programmer with very less training. Whereas some people train for 20 years and still can't code out, they can't write good programs in computers. I call them gifted child. Somebody suddenly makes a fortune, we say very lucky. Somebody who loses their health, in spite of doing all the great things, God is not there. God is very doing injustice. God is doing injustice. We have all our words to put it on something else, either on luck, either on unluck, injustice by God, on God, or gifted, or random. Oh, randomly happened one incident. How does it matter? But we're not satisfied with the answers. But when we go and study the field of invisible, which is about this nature of reality, nature of how an individual seems to progress from time to time. We seem to have better answers for all of these questions that are otherwise have been told either based on luck or randomness. The 6 theories of spiritual science. And if you understand this, we can nicely explain the creation nicely. You may be able to explain most of our life events. When we understand an event, then we have better acceptance of it. Difficult otherwise. Acceptance is the first step towards creating a better future, because acceptance leads to non-suffering, which is a coherent state. When we don't suffer, by default, we have the coherency in our body to everything. Understanding leads towards better clarity of taking the next decision. A better future. So the 6 theories that we'll explore between today and tomorrow. Consciousness, theory of consciousness, theory of reincarnation, theory of cause and effect, theory of constant progress, progression, theory of meditation and yoga. Yoga means meditation. Chitta vritti nirodha. We're talking about Raja Yoga always. Theory of infinity. All creation of an individual can be explained through these 6 spiritual science theories. I mean, there is adequate evidence for each of these. There is objective evidence, and of course, there is subjective evidence, plenty of it. The first one, theory of consciousness. Theory of consciousness is saying we put up a few charts to go through this. Theory of consciousness is saying that everything is energy. Everything is energy. Everything is emptiness. From emptiness comes stuff. So there is this Chaitanya Shakti, a consciousness, something that is transforming itself into many forms. This here. Nature of a personal reality, and so meditation is helping us to look into all of these, the realities greatly, and understand this knowledge. The theory of consciousness is saying that everything originates from emptiness. Everything originates from this energy. Quantum physics easily helping us to understand this, that whatever exists is emptiness, energy, and that's a field of creation. Matter comes from this energy through observation. Brahmand exists. The company did not exist. Nothing is there in the beginning. It's empty. To form a notion, a virtual entity, it's just a virtual entity, an energy. The virtual entity is formed. Then you add people to it, then you add places to it, you add things to it. then it is forming into something tangible. A seed, a tiny, tiny, tiny seed. You cannot imagine, if unless told, that the tiny seed has become this huge banyan tree. Can grow on existing for hundreds of years. And become so huge. The redwood trees, so huge. The diameters are like what? Some of them are like 100 feet and more. The diameter of the trunk of some redwood trees. So a seed from nothing is becoming something tangibly very, very big. Life, the nature is springing up out of nowhere. We see an empty ground, and you see 1 month later, there is so much that has sprung up right there. Seem to just come up. You can never imagine how all these insects and stuff that just keeps bringing up, you close many ways, many things. You go off for holiday, and then the home is vacant, and you come back, and then you see all kinds of stuff there. So from nothing comes everything. From nothing comes something. Easy to explain now with a quantum field. So all exists. What exists is this emptiness, this energy. And quantum physics is saying that even the atoms and molecules, the subatomic particles, are all energy by default, like your electrons and neutrons. They're energy by default. And with observation, they come into physicality. So this consciousness is equal to that field of energy. Now there are three words here: energy, consciousness, and wisdom. So in spiritual science, you understand everyone is this entity of these three, set of these three: energy, consciousness, and wisdom. Wisdom is help us discriminate to say what to experience. Prajnanam Brahma. Prajnanam Brahma. This is from Indian Vedic scriptures. Everything that exists is Brahma, the Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi. I am that exists. Prajnanam Brahma, so which means that all wisdom is Brahma, the consciousness. There is wisdom. Quantum physics says that everything is emptiness. Everything is that emptiness is energy. Energy is information. Information is influenced by thought. It's all full of information. Our subconscious mind to superconscious mind that is there everywhere. Where is this thought coming from? Coming from this field of energy. The thought is coming from the field of energy. It is set of events and experiences coded as energy that are sitting there. Your events and experiences of all lifetimes of mine are sitting there as coded as energy. Because ultimately that's what is there. Our primary reality is quantum field. Secondary reality is physical matter, which is observed into a certain frequency. So there is wisdom, which is Prajnana Brahma from Vedic scriptures is all information coded of all events that are ever happening of every individual. Energy to matter, matter to energy back. So we are that. We are consciousness, something. There is some intelligence that is out there, which is then utilizing all this information and then intending to experience something or other, intending. Just like we keep intending to experience something in our life. We finish one experience, we intend to experience something else. Where is that coming from? That's consciousness. In energy, wisdom, and consciousness, and in wisdom, consciousness, energy entities. We are these three always. So the other way to say them is that is Jnana Shakti, energy of wisdom, Jnana Shakti. You need that to know, so to know what to experience. That there is infinity, there are many things that are happening. So the more you know, the more you have at your disposal things to experience. And so then something called this consciousness, that intention, the energy of will, the willpower, wisdom, power, willpower, power of this energy, the three things. Jnana Shakti, Ichha Shakti, something that intends is equal to consciousness, which is intending what to experience. Somewhere that intelligence wanted to experience Chandra, wanted to experience Jagadish, that experienced conscience. So we all were being shown here. Think of it that way. Just the way, once we are here, we're intending to create. I always explain this in the best way is a toy factory, a toy company. There are a lot of designers. Nothing is there. Somebody thinks, oh, I know how to create a beautiful forest toy. So they start creating a forest with a lot of pieces of puzzles or no pieces. They create it, they experience it. Wow, this is beautiful. Beautiful forest, some trees here, some valleys here, rivers there, mountain there. Yeah, this version is good, but let me add some more to it. So they add some animals to it. Oh, this is great. This is good. They'll add some fighting scenes to it, into that forest, into the toy. That's not good enough. Let me add some people to it. They add stuff there. What are they doing? They keep creating, adding stuff. Now, think of the next generation that's happening now. All of it now powered through AI, artificial intelligence. They start having motion. They're adding some movement, energy. Now you say we're getting close to consciousness, I guess, right? So you're creating stuff. And so is the same creation. And why would we not think that why only here? In the field of invisibility, everything is a frequency. So something somewhere out there intelligently creating it. If a designer can create a toy of people of different shapes and sizes of look and feel into a toy, and keep expanding it and keep experiencing something new. And so then there is an intelligence out there, the consciousness keep intending to experience something new. Everything is originating. So there is wisdom, there is consciousness, and energy is Kriya Shakti. You know what to create. Knowledge is because experience. You know what to experience, Jnana Shakti, and then willpower, consciousness, you are experiencing one after the other, for whatever reason, at the right time and place, you keep intending something which you feel is good for you then, or gives you great happiness. And then that is your consciousness. And the energy is the Kriya Shakti, something you need to actually do it. Friends, we understand that from nothing comes everything. Nothing comes everything. The second statement is theory of reincarnation. One of the governmental bodies in USA hired Ian Stevenson, a psychiatrist. He regularly works with children. And so, you know, a lot of times we hear stories, a child saying and speaking Arabic, speaking Russian, and of course the child prodigies, there is children suddenly react to certain people or places. So he was working, psychiatrists, do regressions to solve problems of people. And so he is working with children. So there's always all kinds of cases of children saying all kinds of stuff, saying that, okay, you can't relate to it, you can't relate to what they say. Then this concept of reincarnation. So the government body hired him and say they wanted to disprove this theory of reincarnation. So they hired him for it. At the end of serious research, after a few years, he came back and exactly did the opposite. And he wrote papers saying that why reincarnation exists. Exactly the opposite of what he was hired for. To disprove the theory is what we call paranormal. And he wrote books, several books, Ian Stevenson, several books. Now, the science journals cannot disprove all of that things that they prove. Dr. Newton has done several past life regression therapies and theories. So he documented several cases. Are we just bones and molecules come and go? There is something more. This reincarnation theory, and then clearly saying, and spiritual sense always said that there is reincarnation. We're going to go and explore it. Hans Tannenbaum, Brian Weiss, professor in University of Florida, has done extensive research, has written many lives, many masters. Started with one book and many books now. Again, documented cases. You look into it when he was regressing a patient and she started talking about things that he couldn't relate. And then she started recording in a tape, case after session after session after session. And then he documents that beautifully in Many Lives, Many Masters book. That she was referring to a lifetime long before, well before the time. And she was referring to herself as somebody who is wearing these clothes which are very different and doing certain things. And so he goes around trying to corroborate based on the historical evidences and finally concludes and proves that these things existed before. Ian Stevenson, a young girl in Sri Lanka was born, and he did this research all over the world, 3,000 plus case studies of children. Because children, at least the idea, the notion is that they're not faking. Very young, how can they fake, right? The adults, okay, maybe faking. If they want to remove the element of it. And children also remember, they're very sensitive, so they're able to just spontaneously respond. As a young girl in Sri Lanka, every time she was taken too close to a bus, she used to scream, and so they had to take her away. And so later she recounting one of the past lives that she was knocked off by a bus and then pushed into a paddy field when she was young while walking. Now he went and corroborated, and there is a family lived exactly which has happened with that incident. They lost a child around 4 kilometers away from that place. And these two families never apparently interacted each other at all. In many cases, our reincarnation exists if we are looking for answers, if we're looking to know, then we become open to go and explore. I was like this when I started reading this Many Lives, Many Masters. And when my brother used to tell me, hey, I see stuff, I see things in meditation. I used to say, what are you saying? Discount it out. But then later, when I started reading these books, then I started understanding there's so much more. And then I wanted to experience something personal to myself. Then I started seeing glimpses of things that I felt I never imagined to myself. So the theory of reincarnation is explaining beautifully why we are what we are. Bhagavad Gita, of course, talking about it. I'm born into this Hindu religion. I'm basically taking up a set of experience of my whole lifetime being a Hindu, while somebody has taken a set of different experiences by being born into a Christian religion, born into Islam, born into something, because then the religions are at some level, for the whole lifetime, give you one type of experiences. One type of experiences, the whole lifetime. I'm born in America, some people are born into some village in India, some are born in Pakistan, some are born in Africa. Now, we all have, based on where you're born, a different set of experiences for the whole lifetime. By being in that village, you're exposed to something. You do certain things there. Different experience, very different experience than living in Bombay, or living in New York, or living in US versus India. Different experience. Generally, they don't change in their lifetime. Leave those global citizens who are traveling around all over the place. It explains, if we take the whole concept, the notion is that we are here to experience our life. We're here to experience many things, to explore and experience ourselves constantly, to learn to explore and experience ourselves. And so there's a first consciousness, nothing to everything. And from there comes reincarnation, where then he's explaining life and death here. We thought death is permanent. As impermanent, Bhagavad Gita says. It's just like you change your body like a piece of cloth. The one that dies must come back. Jatasya dhruvam mrityu, dhruvam janma mritasya cha. What dies comes back, and what comes back dies again. And so then, why should we fear death? We're taking one after the other, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. Our experiences go back as energy, it is there, what we call samskaras, and then we start somewhere later. I finish one company, I take a rest, I want to take a second company. I finish a whole set of experience, one place, one travel to these mountains, I finish it. After some time, I want to go and experience something else. Why would we not do it? If we're doing it here, why would I not do from somewhere, some other place of frequency? That's how we experience difference. Reincarnation exists. You look in and know what is it doing? It is helping us to understand there is a continuity. Why did that girl in Indian Idol, or no, this world you got talent in that show? How did they get that special talent out of where? Now, from reincarnation, explain that they left there. They were managing a big kingdom, big company, a big organization. They were talented because they learned so much music or practice of that skill in the past, and then you carry on with the talent when you come back here fresh. You had a very, very deep traumatic experience in the past, and so you come back here and you suddenly, that memory is there fully, and then you recollect it. And so you recollect that memory. You start from where you left. I'm a third grader earlier, and so scoring 40 marks. I come here, I'm scoring 80 marks. It comes natural to me to manage a large company, even though I'm at 20 years or 22 years, intuitively, because where is it coming from? We call it intuition. It is drawn from a past. Something to help understand that people who are super duper talented, it's not luck, it is potential coming from the past. So theory of reincarnation is saying that life continuity exists. So people who have phobias, fears, are being helped through this past life regressions, where you go back and look in. Whether you understand there is a past, and so then I'm experiencing this in the past, so then now I've got this phobia. That girl, scared of buses. Now, once you understand that, okay, there is an event that happened to me because of which, then you are able to accept it better. Okay, now this is not going to do something scary to me again, because that fear is there. Now, the moment you let go of the fear because you understand why it is happening, then you say, no, buses are fine. So then she's able to ride the bus again. The fear of darkness is there. You go back and look into that. Now you say, yes, I understand it. All it requires is to go back into your past. And so the theory of reincarnation exists to explain, why am I going through what I'm going through? So we'll go forward to understand. Now this is giving us that I'm coming in one lifetime as this, another lifetime as that, another lifetime, but we're all the same stuff. We're all from the same consciousness. We're not different. The boundaries came, the religions came only to gain some power, only to gain some control on the resources because of the greed, nothing else otherwise. It's a different experience. At least it is helping us to overcome the fear of death. That's the key. For each of us to overcome the fear of death, if life continuity exists, if one job goes, I know that I'll get another job. It's not the end of it. It's not the end of it. And so then the fear of death, the biggest fear, the biggest hurdle to experience life beautifully, and which is one which is stopping us from living our lives according to our feelings and emotion, is this fear of death. We must overcome. So when we read these books, when we explore on ourselves by going into sessions, and by the way, meditation is helping people to experience, look into the glimpses of past and present. Some of your experiences where you can't explain, where you see some people, children, you see some things, and then somewhere you have a connection that's you, is that. One must read books by Michael Newton, books by Robert Schwartz, books by Daniel Dale, books by Sylvia Brown, books by Doris Cannon, Raymond Moody. All these books must be read, dear friends, to understand this. So we will continue to understand the remaining aspects tomorrow. It gives answers. Reincarnation gives answers. It makes sense to go back and put the scripture in perspective now. Study this. Read books by Brian Weiss, very, very popular. Dr. Newton's book, Science of Regression. There are so many subjective evidences to demonstrate this. Yes, Rathavel. We'll continue this tomorrow.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for the wonderful meditation and the great wisdom on the 6 theories of spiritual science. Dear friends and masters, quiz 4, which as announced yesterday, has been shared through your team facilitators, that it has been shared on their registered email. Please do complete the quiz. So the quiz is very simple. It will be like whatever you understand from Chandra's wisdom, like the notes, whatever you're taking, or whatever the lesson that you are learning here. So those very, very simple. The quiz will be like, for example, what are the chemicals that has been generated through meditation? So those learnings, whatever, if you attend, then attending the quiz will take not more than 5 minutes. And it will again helps you to remember, recollect this information. That is the purpose of the quiz as well. And second announcement is today we have a book club on the book Living with Himalayan Masters in the morning, 8:15 a.m. IST to 9:15 a.m. IST. And the evening we have the same book session, which is at 8 p.m. IST to 9 p.m. IST. Please do attend the book club and cherish in the power of wisdom. Yes.
Yes. So thank you very much, dear friends. We'll see you again tomorrow. I look forward to hearing anybody's stories, anybody's experiences relating to what we discussed today, or anything else that in Q&A post this. Thank you.
Yes, Sai Music.
This or something better is waiting for me. I know that this or something better is the key that will set my heart free. I'm gonna let go of control. I'm gonna get out of my way. I know the universe conspires to bring me heaven today. I know that this or something better is waiting for me. I know that this or something better is the key that will set my heart free. I'm tired of playing it small, of doing what I think I should. The universe stands up to meet me, to claim my highest form of
Yes, Pratibha ma'am, please unmute yourself.
Good morning, everyone. And good morning, Chandra sir and Ratnavel sir. Yeah, regarding to today's session, that I'm really scared of dogs. I have dog phobia. How much I'm trying to overcome with that fear, but I'm not able to come out of that. Why is it happening to me like that? I don't understand. Yeah.
If you understand, madam, from that small explanation, a small story I quoted, then potentially you could relate. Almost always all phobias are because of some traumatic events from the past. Either from your childhood, you might have forgotten.
Yeah, one incident I still remember when I was very small. A dog bit, when I went to my relative's house, they have a pet dog. It bit me. Maybe because of that fear, I don't know. It could be because of that too.
Yes. So almost always all phobias are related to a past. And so you go back and relive it. Work with it. If you understand that that's what is holding you, because a traumatic event of an accident and a road travel accident, then every time you get into close to a thing, you feel like it's going to be bad. It comes back, rather memory. Okay. So reliving or going back and then looking into it rather than avoiding it. And understanding that perspective that, okay, it is that one incident that caused this to me. So let me now go ahead and try it. Let me go ahead and try it. Let me go and meet and then, sit in front of a small puppy to start with. Right? Just putting that perspective, read enough case studies of a past life regression, such case studies, past life case studies, or childhood case studies like this. And then you have enough strength based on all of this that, okay, so my fear of water is because somebody pushed me from a high into a depth where I lost my life. Enough strength is, when you look at all of those, you gain enough strength to go back into the water and try. Okay. Go back into that, go into the bus and then ride the bus and do the thing, go and play with the dog. You need to be convinced that it's happening from that memory. Okay? You need to be convinced that it is happening from that memory. The moment you know it is connected to that, then you will let go of it. So it is potentially your childhood thing there, or it potentially something more deeper from even past. See, once you're afraid of dog, then what do? In childhood also, you might have ran from it. And then dogs generally, if people are running, they also chase. We don't know what has happened there. But then, but the real deeper thing would have been somewhere before. So try just now, assume it is that now, and then go and try to be making friendship with the dogs. Start trying to see if it doesn't help at all. You may not have tried. Now that you understood this glimpse of it, go and start trying. It is only from that, nothing else. And you might overcome. If you don't, then look at some inner child work. When start getting revealed of this. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you for your information and wisdom. Thank you.
Thank you, Pratibha ma'am. Yes, they keep PMG. Yes, ma'am. Please unmute yourself. Yes.
Hello, sir. Good morning, everyone. It's not about sharing again and like experience from today, but I just would like to share about the reincarnation. So I have my eldest son who was born in this very auspicious month, and he was born in Lord Buddha's Purnirvana. So I was so curious to know what exactly his life is all about, and I consulted an astrologer, and this astrologer told me that he is reincarnation of a hermit, and by the age of 3 or 4, he will be narrating some past life. And it happened at the age of early age 4, he started to narrate how he spent life in the forest, how he led his life. And he was too fond of like the wheat flour, because usually the hermits, they really like the wheat flour. And at the age of 4, he was too fond of that. And then from there, I realized that reincarnation do exist. And then my another understanding is that I feel every one of us is reincarnation of one form. I'm not saying a spiritual master or like profound practitioners, but could be reincarnation of an animal or something like that. So I just feel that that's what I feel about the reincarnation. I don't know what Sir Chandra has to say on this.
Read a book called A Soul's Journey by Peter Richley, madam. You'll understand it a little more better.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Mineral kingdom to plant kingdom to animal kingdom to human kingdom. This is the evolution cycle.
Nice.
So reincarnation theory. So trees that are very, very crystallized, individualized, those that are there, like banyan trees, move into the next thing. They're all initially group consciousness, go into more individualized consciousness into animals. Animals, which as they evolve, where they start spending more time with humans, like dogs and pet animals, evolve into humans over a period of time. Not the theories that we heard that, was that that is very, very matter-oriented theory that science accepted as the theory of how people evolving. Okay. Our spiritual science understanding is that, yes, mineral kingdom to plant kingdom to human to animal kingdom to human kingdom. Human kingdom is a highly developed intellect with a highly developed intelligence, human with a creation capabilities to come there as a human kingdom. So we are evolving from that perspective, from animals to us. And then once you are there, then keep evolving into various stages, into an infant soul to a baby soul to a young soul to a mature soul, an old soul, a transcendental soul, and infinite soul. Seven levels experiences. There are levels of experiences at each stage. Okay. Each of us are going these various levels, incarnate after incarnate after incarnate. Okay. And so Michael Newton's book, Journey of Souls. Robert Monroe has written books, and then Peter Richley by Soul's Journey. If you read these 3-4 books, then you'll understand the soul level, soul evolution, and stuff out of many people who have written things. Okay. There is plenty of this thing being taught on PMC channel. PMC English, PMC Hindi, PMC any of the language you go, I'm sure you'll find somebody that spoke about it in detail, about different levels of souls and what each one mean and all that. I'm generally not doing it as a beginner program in this. Somewhere it comes up, but otherwise, yes, there are plenty of other lectures from PSSM that covers this, and one must know, explore it. If you know about it, then you will know where we are and our life experience perspective. Right. Yes, Ratna.
Thank you, Diki ma'am. Diki Patriji ma'am. Yes, Ashok sir, can you please, please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Retinable sir. And thank you, Chandra sir. Sir, as life after life, we are experiencing and we are evolving in our consciousness level. And as a human, once we come to human kingdom, and we are doing good karmas, bad karmas, consciously or unconsciously, deliberately or indeliberately. So my simple question is, once we have achieved human kingdom, can we go back to animal kingdom in the next life if we do bad karmas? That is my simple question, sir.
Everything is chosen by ourselves.
Yes, sir.
Everything is chosen by ourselves to re-experience something that we already experienced or not.
Okay, sir.
Normal progression is that you don't go back to experience something that you finished, something more that you finished. This is the right word. So you're only looking for more and more higher, from a body experience to mind experience to intellect experience to soul level experiences. So there is that within human kingdom that we keep experiencing. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, the four things that are different levels of experience we're seeking. But to go back to an animal life, everything is possible. It's our design, our choice in the design. So is it possible? Yes. Will we do it in specific cases to have a specific experience? If you've done something very, very gory to an animal or whatever that you wanted to go back and experience, you may go back. Exceptions. That is the exception. It's up to us as a choice.
So, sir, it is a choice of the individual soul, or it is a cause and effect? The
Cause and effect is an individual decision ultimately. That's why I keep emphasizing it's a free will. The cause and effect is by individual decision ultimately when you go back to reincarnate back again. The cause and effect is there. The causes are there. So you go back, then you're looking at and saying, oh, I really made these people suffer so significantly. Why did I do it? How can I not do it again? And so you decide to take, how can I not do it again? Okay, let me go back and feel what it is like. And you decide, and so you take that. Now you decide the timing. It's not immediate. Okay, you say, in the list of things that I want to experience, something else is there. I would like to do mountaineering before I come back and re-experience this at a later time. So it is your decision to when to do and not to do. The law of cause and effect is not a punishment system, it is a free will system.
Okay, sir.
It is not.
But sir, in Hindu religion, sorry, sir. So in Hindu religion, probably this is stated that our ancestors were telling, my parents were telling that if we do bad karmas, we'll go to animal life. Maybe to avoid bad karmas, probably this teaching was there, sir. Maybe.
Not avoid bad karma. It is an experience that the religion that we're talking about has this. You have to go back and see where is it coming from. So much changes easily. You are probably one type of, you are, whether you call it caste or you're from community. Now you are Hindu. Are you Hindu?
Yes, sir. I am a Hindu.
So how do you know that you truly are a Hindu?
I don't know, sir, because
No?
maybe those beliefs have come from the ancestors.
You're only Hindu because of your dad. Now your dad's dad. Now, do you have information to sufficiently say that somewhere in your entire line of lineage, 500 years ago, did they not, there are so people always migrate from place to place.
Yes, sir.
Then somebody from a Muslim family and Christian family are actually married, and so then there is we don't even know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We don't even know where we come from because all the migrations happened. We just sing based on it. So the point is that information distorted. So the distortion is happening always in everything. The distortion of that religion that you think is specifying. But we do know that there is this fear psychology has creeped into the religion significantly. Fear. People needed power and control. So read this book, Celeste and Prophecy by James Redfield. It'll give you a lot of insight. James
Which book, sir?
Redfield.
Prophecy? Which book, sir?
James Redfield, The Celestial Prophecy.
Okay.
Read that book, you'll get a lot of insight of how and when around things got distorted in the 2000 or 3000, 5000 year history. Okay, what has science done? And then things get distorted, and why all this fear, there's somebody has to be in the middle to reach your God. There is always somebody middle now. Through religion means you have to go through somebody in the middle to reach the God stuff. You got to do Abhisheka, Puja, you have to go to somebody at the church to tell your sins and stuff, and then they're going to come back. All this, somebody in the middle, why is that necessary?
Right.
There's a lot of fears that is kept into it. And say God will punish you if you do this and that. But spiritual science is saying that if my thoughts create reality now through quantum physics, and so why is all this? Where is all this coming from? Why is that somebody is going to punish you? If my thoughts create reality, so I create my reality. And so the same thing applies. People who have done adequate study of it, they channel the information to say this is the order of how things are getting created. We are here to experience life after life by our own accord, our own will, our free will. Nobody is writing a fate for you. You are writing your own plan, like a group of leaders in a company make their own plan. They decide to change when they want to change. It's like that.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
When I understood this law of cause and effect, karma freed me up. It freed me up completely. That is not a punishment that I have to go through. Now, how do I avoid? So this is also beautifully explained. Dhyana Agni, like the karma now. Dhyana, knowledge that you transcend into wisdom. If I sufficiently understand, even though I killed and ate a lot of animals in my current lifetime, but if I sufficiently understand and I reasonably understand this cause of that whole thing experience I go through, but then I'm a transformed person about it today. I'm a transformed person about it. Enough that I do not cause harm to an animal ever. And so I don't have to go back and then experience that suffering for me to be in that state to not do it again tomorrow. Understand me on this. It's all about, should I take a different type of experience so that I never cause any harm to animal? Now, do I have to, with me in my consciousness today? I say yes, fully digested into me enough. So even though I have caused harm to animals in this lifetime where I was eating non-vegetarian, but I have my consciousness evolved enough that even my dream I will not harm an animal. So then I know for sure I'm not going to go back and take a life form where I will get killed by somebody or something,
Right.
So Jnana Agni, like the karma nam. That means the more you develop your knowledge and wisdom, the more you dissolve the karma of the past, because you realize, I don't need that experience anymore. It's your choice.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashokji.
Thank you, Ashok sir. Yes, sir. So we are almost top of the hour, just 2 minutes.
Thank you. We'll give the 2 minutes back. Thank you all. So we'll see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful day.
This or something better is waiting for me. I know that this or something better is the key that will set my heart free. I'm gonna let go of control. I'm gonna get out of my way. I know the universe conspires to bring me heaven today. I know that this or something better is waiting for me. I know that this or something better.
Thank you, my